what they say most of the time is what you do. You are a service. You provide a service. I'm there, the fridge is getting cold, but I can't see the display. Nothing's working. It looks like nothing's working. Let's talk about buy a new one. What does that mean? Buy a new one could mean many different things. I'll be honest, when I was a fresh tech, buy a new one meant I don't know what's wrong with this unit. Looks expensive to fix, but I have no idea. Gotta buy a new one. What does that mean? That means that the customer paid you $100 and something to come to the house, and it means that now you're telling them go spend another $1,000 on whatever it is because you don't know what's wrong with it. I'll give you a story. 5 years ago, I wasn't where I'm at now with appliance repair, so I was still figuring out how to fix things. So I go ahead and I take it was a $12,000 fridge, and the touchpad wasn't working. So I'm trying to hit the buttons, I don't see anything going on. The fridge feels cold, but the lights are off. What's going on? So I tried to call tech support, and it was a holiday, they weren't in. Now I'm stuck. I can't call tech support. I don't know where to look. I'm checking the best I can. All my buddies are at the beach. So I'm stuck with two options. Excuse me, sir. I have no idea what's wrong with this fridge. It took me an hour to get here. I would like $100 for the visit. And also, I don't know what's wrong, so call somebody else. Or, excuse me, sir. You need all this stuff. It's really bad. It's so bad that you should buy a new one. $12,000. Do you think he's gonna go get a second opinion, especially if you're fumbling around not knowing, and that guy's gonna say this is all that's wrong? Or you think he's gonna just run out and buy a new one? Chances are with a $12,000 fridge, he's gonna look for a second opinion, and then you're never gonna get a call from him or his friends. But let me explain what was going on. So I'm there, the fridge is getting cold, but I can't see the display. Nothing's working. It looks like nothing's working. So I take my flashlight to try to figure out how to take off the light fixture, and the flashlight lights the back of the panel, and I could see the numbers on the display, and I thought it wasn't working. But with the flashlight behind the panel, I could see 0, 38, and ice. So if you know anything about what I'm talking about, it's a Sub-Zero refrigerator, and either the light bulbs are out or the light switch is out. A light switch from Sub-Zero is $20-something, but you could use a cheap aftermarket one that costs $5, $7. Or you could be a real technician and check the light switches, see if they're working. You could put a wire between them, and if the lights come on, it's working. Vice versa, unplug the lights, see if it works. But at the time, I had no idea what I was getting into. So what do? I told the guy already, it looks pretty bad. I think you might need to start shopping for a new one. Let me keep looking around, because when I don't know what's going on, I try to do the best I can, and even when I was fresh, I would dig around and take everything apart, and it would look like a mess, and sometimes I would, by luck, stumble upon something. But in this case, just a flashlight up to the panel, I see the numbers, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there might be light bulbs down there. As soon as I touched the light bulb started flickering, and the guy was right behind me, and he goes, oh, it looks like a bunch of short circuits. So at that point, I could be like, yep, you're right, close it up and go home. But I was like, wait a minute, give me a couple minutes. So I screwed the light bulb in and out. Finally, the light comes on, one of the light bulbs. I go to the one on the right, I mess with it, turns on. The one on the left turns on. So there's 4 bulbs. They all came on. They were just loose from vibration and from opening and closing the door. The fridge is back to normal. All I had to do was screw in 4 light bulbs. Already in my mind, I was saying, you gotta buy a new one. What do? This is like before I even touched the fridge, just looking at it, because I was nervous. So that's the fight or flight response people get, and it happens everywhere, all day, all the time. You're fixing something, you're gonna get fight or flight. What happens? You fight with the machine, and if you have no idea what's going on, you want to fly away. Or sometimes you just look at it, you don't recognize the handles, the panel, the buttons, and you shit in your pants, you don't know what to do. So what do? Buy a new one. Another reason you say buy a new one, besides I don't know what's going on, let me sound like I do know what's going on. The other reason is they need a new one. Let's say it's a $500 dryer and the computer is $350 and your time is $200. So you exceed the cost of a new washer. How do you avoid these problems? Well, you make sure it's the computer, number one. If you're already in the door, this is what you do. You take it apart, you look around, and you make sure that's what's going on. Now, if somebody calls you and says, "Hi, do you fix Admiral?" That's a brand. Some people know it, some people don't. It's like a Whirlpool brand, low end. They're like $200, $300 appliances. You say, "Yes, I do." What's going on? And you try to fish for some information. Because at the end of the day, if you want a good reputation, you want happy customers. Happy customers, sometimes they're happy when you tell them the truth on the phone before they even pay you. Now, if they don't pay you, they're not your customer, but they might be your customer in the future. You have a good reputation off a phone call, and they're gonna call you or pass your number around. So what happens? You get to the house, it's a $300 dryer, it needs a computer board. Okay, so your computer board costs $350 and your labor is $200. Now there's two options. Don't remind them that the machine costs $400 and tell them, "Hey, let's put $700 into your 10-year-old machine so you can make $700." Or be honest and tell them the repair exceeds the cost of a new unit. Sometimes they don't want to hear that. Sometimes it's in a closet. They don't have delivery. There's a shortage right now. They don't know who to call. You don't know who to call. So what do? You're honest. And you tell them, you can fix it. In 2 days, we can get this fixed. Now remember, the rest of your machine's old. Anything else could fail and you'd be putting good money after bad. But if you want to do it, it's up to you. And they tell you what they want to do. At the end of the day, the customer is always right in the sense of what they say most of the time is what you do. You are a service. You provide a service. You're in their house, they want to fix this dryer, or they want to buy a new one. Now, what's another reason? Discontinued parts.